Hey, what's good? What's good? What's good? This is your boy, Mr. Fourth Quarter, coming at you again. Another blog. Told you I was gonna do this. Shout out to any of my new subscribers out there and everything. Also, another shout out the Unbiased Gang. Special shout out on this blog alone. ARP, Rare Breed Entertainment. Y'all put on a fucking classic, bro. A fucking classic. But yo, let's just dive right into this, man. Chilla Jones versus Danny Myers. Lift his soul. Lift his soul too, bro. Lift his soul. And that's what happened in this battle. Somebody's soul was getting lifted. Every bar, every punch. Now, I've been already on this suggestion box, and I see people say Danny 3-0. I see people saying Chilla 2-1. I see a lot of debatables out there, but I'm going to go ahead and give you my recap on the whole thing, man. The whole thing. I'm going to try to go through some bars. Normally, I don't go through bars in my blogs. Normally, I don't because I want you all to watch it. But for this, it's got to basically use the bars to substantiate why I'm going for who I'm going to go for. So we're going to just jump into it. Let's get into these bars. Round one, Chilla Jones start out, man. He started out punching already. The Lucifer Satan line, he was like, bar gods hit me, and what I say tend to hit you, Lucifer bar miss me. That was a hot line. Then he tapped ARP, was like, hey, ARP, I hope he got life insurance. That was a hot line. Then he went into flipping Danny Myers' last name, adding the word add on it, talking about, can you add Myers? If you was on a billboard, that's where you add Myers. Looking down, he's down on the ground looking up, because that's who he add Myers. Also is talking about how you open up the booth and put lead in his back. That's how you stop him in the tracks. Then he went and spelled out Danny and Vicky, who was his wife, spelled out the name and everything in that bar. That was a hot one. He said, you got me in my old zone. That's big danger. If you remember, Danger Zone, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Danger Zone, DMV boys, stand the fuck up. Battle of the year at Crown 2, neither here nor there. But said I'm in my old zone, that's big danger. If you remember, he was a bigger dude and everything. Shout out the weight loss. Then he comes and says, talk about your Joan of Arc. Then he says, on the polling in the league, but I'm breaking every bone apart. That was a hot bar. And then he was like, talking about the Sierra Russell Wilson. He was like, not because I'll be destined on the future to come, because I had to, he was like, after I see arrows, y'all be father in the future son, something like that. That was a hot line as well. So now we go ahead going to Danny. Danny starts out talking about plugging the back of his head like Neo dialing out. Nigga. You remember Matrix? The Neo, the plug in the back of the head, my nigga? Come on, man. Gotta get that up to Danny. Then Bruce Lee, the Chuck Norris line he had. Then he said medics applying pressure everywhere like they job hunting. Applying pressure, job like they job hunting, nigga. Then he said, I bring Boston College when I bring UMass destruction. If you know UMass Boston, Chilla's from Boston, things like that. The Rain Man toothpick line from Danny Myers, that was a hot bar as well. So we're going to go ahead and judge that round. I gave that round to Chilla Jones. Why did I do that? Even though if you watch the footage, it looked like Danny was punching a little bit harder, but I like the complex schemes and the delivery and the bars of Chilla Jones. So I gave that to round one to Chilla Jones. Round two, back on Chilla. The scheme of Compass Fire, he came out spitting with that one. Then he said clicking on y'all both like it's a three-way convo. I was hot. Then he was like shots sell on shirts like it's Nautica. Then he had a hysterectomy bar. Oh my God, he stretched out the hysterectomy bar, then brought it in, and he would say, "Cause I didn't expect you to be the one risk being taken out." I was like, wow, that really hit. Then it was talking about how people were saying DNA beat Chilla, but he went on ahead and went behind that. It was like, but that was a bag over heads, but carry on. So he referenced the Chilla battle. Then, of course, now RBE, they battling in this one in New York. So he flipped the Stoudemire. bar, because your career would die in New York. That was a hard bar by Chilla. Back now on Danny, second round, Danny Myers. He says the P89, but I'm gonna use my homie P like I'm passing a fucking drug test, nigga. Then he was like bullets going in and out, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Um, he was talking about Chilla's mixtape. If y'all, like Chilla's mixtape, you raise arms if you like the shit that Chill bumps, nigga. That was hot. Talking about how Chilla meet chicks online. It was like we ran trap meets on chicks who Marion Jones. If you remember Marion Jones, track star, Marion Jones, flip that. That was a hot one. And then he says, reaching for the pussy like it's finger banging. Nigga. Nice bar from Danny. Let me go through some more of my notes here. So for that, I gave that one to Danny. I gave that one to Danny Myers. He came out and he wigged in the second round. Third round, for me, it's up in the air. Sort of like how round 1 was up in the air. Round 3 is up in the air. Chilla comes out. He starts barking. If you remember the 12 racks that Danny paid Rex, the 12 racks, my nigga, that Danny paid Rex. So he started referencing that. Then he breaks down. He was like, what you could have did with 12 racks, you could have traded that in for 3 classics. And he named 3 battlers and things like that he could have had instead of paying 12 racks over to T-Rex. He was talking about what was your manager when this shit was going down. He was barking on a nigga about that shit. Then he started barking about how he got kids and what you can do with the 12 racks and things like that, what he can do for a son or daughter, food, groceries, Disneyland, shit like that. So that was hot. And then he ended it off, says, you never paid dues. He said, you never pay dues, you pay dudes for your respect. So that was a hot joint. So then he was like, he was done with that, barking in the personal. Then he just went into the bars and the kingpin, smacking niggas over checks that ain't cereal, throwing dynamite in a box in your casket and it's a boom box. Then he says, you never take colostomy, now you getting your shit bag. Oh my God, colostomy shit bag, my nigga Chilla, Boss Town. And he says, clicking like a metronome, cans to the ear like kids playing telephone. Nigga, hot bar alert again. Then he was talking about his wife. He was like, was training the tongue like it's Rosetta Stone. Nigga, Rosetta Stone, when the last time you used Rosetta Stone? I ain't never used Rosetta Stone. But I know what the fuck that shit is. That shit got like Russian, Italian, French version, Spanish version, all kinds of versions, man. So shout out Rosetta Stone bar. Then he was like talking about how he went against Danger, Devon Carter, talking about retract, but if you add the K in front of Carter, you retract, things like that. Then he ends it, says like, this is like Bobby Christina, because you're having suicide and then your life is going down the drain. So that was Boss Town right there. And then the final round from Danny, back to my notes here, talking about Jonestown, killing with one punch, because you know Jonestown, baseball, that's where it's at, the Hall of Fame and things like that. Scheming with the Thundercats, silence on Mr. Bean, Boston Bean. You never seen a better writer than Tommy Hearns. The bitch don't get it, like Magic Johnson's wife. Crazy. You see the 22 coming out like the 22 out the blazer like it's Clyde Drexler. What makes you think my niggas came in Chevys? How we on one accord? That was crazy. He said Keanu Reeves hit my phone because he heard I was a key maker. And he was talking about how Chilla is a geek, a writing geek and shit like that. And writer's block is the only block you ever been on. And I already told you, Chilla for me got the first, Danny got the second. Third, I'm going to go Chilla Jones. Chilla Jones. And why did I score it this way? I'm going to tell you why. For me, I look at complex schemes, complex flow, bars, delivery, and I try not to give, I don't want to say food, but gas by Danny's aggression. Chilla's not an aggressive puncher. He's not that kind of guy. He's going to make you think about the words that he's landing. But Chilla, more shout out to Chilla, is his schemes are getting a lot better. His punches are coming faster, and they're going back to back. And you'll see it actually in round 3 and parts of round 1 where he just kept going bar, 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 punch, punch, punch. But they got more complex. Now I give it up to Danny. It was a hard battle to judge. But I had to give it to Chilla Jones. I had to remove myself from the aggression of Danny Myers. I just had to. And in order to do that, I had to be unbiased with the whole thing and be like, because if you in the building, you're getting fooled by Danny with the aggression, throwing his hat off and shit after every bar and stuff. And you can't be fooled by that. And you got to really break everything down and see who bars hit the hardest or who bars was the best. Now, I would say some of Danny bars hit hard as fuck. They hit hard. But Chilla had bars that be like, make you stop and go back, be like, ooh, that shit hurt. Like the colostomy joint, that shit made me down and throw my phone across the ring, my nigga. So to recap, gave Chilla round 1, Danny round 2, Chilla round 3, 2-1 Chilla Jones. But I won't even argue if you said it's the other way around. You could say 3-0s or whatever like that. You're going to strictly have this as a debatable. This is a debatable fucking classic. Put on another shout out ARP, man. But hey, other than that, man, continue to subscribe. We had a lot of shit go down. Don't Flop USA in Atlanta went down. K-Shine smacked Sharon. Make sure you check that footage, y'all. K-Shine smacking Sharon. Next week, Perfect Day to Die. I might come out with a prediction blog for Perfect Day to Die. Like 5 battles. You got Clips versus Suge. You got DNA versus Briz Rothstein. K-Shine versus X Factor. Tay-Rock versus John the Don. And it's another battle on there that I cannot fucking remember to save my life right now. But, oh the fuck, well, shit happens. But, then we got Bullpen Battle League about to go off. Matter of fact, Perfect Day to Die is on the 12th. This weekend is Pat Stay versus Hollow out in London. And also we got Arsenal versus JC. Now I heard some things about the Arsenal JC that said that Arsenal is going to come with some bars. And I damn sure hope he do come with some bars. I'm just trying to check to see if there's anything on a Perfect Day to Die. But I don't remember that last fucking battle. I don't get mad at me. It is what it fucking is. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, hit me up in my subscription box. Let me know what you all think won this battle, man. And let me know, give me some feedback, everything. It's your boy, Mr. Fourth Quarter. My fucking slogan, everything's golden.